It's a position of accepted ignorance. I accept that I don't know everything, and thus I follow probability to look for things that I accept.
But probability itself, the idea of probability, like I said, a dice has a 6 sides. The probability of getting one side is 1 over 6. That itself is a fact as far as probability goes. So there's no probability on top of probability, unless you want to tell me your consciousness may not be as clear as it could be. We're not talking about how clear our consciousness is or how correctly our senses are working. We are talking about an idea of what the probability of a dice is. The fact that it has six sides, there is only 6 outcomes. Six possible outcomes, and it always will land on one side.
Is it impossible for the dice?
Can a dice land on 2 sides? Let's answer me that. Can
it land on an angle without landing on an actual side? Yeah, yes, it can.
No, unless you artificially create like maybe adjust the ground that it's landing on in a way that it can. But otherwise, on a fair dice, which is
a different question. Does the dice exist?
Dude, that's a totally different. That's consciousness. That's like whether you're actually conceiving reality in the way we currently accept it. For the moment, that's not the conversation. For the moment,
yes, it is the conversation.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's because I'm having a much broader view, and you're only focusing on a very small thing.
Absolutely, because you are.
Dude, you are perceiving the truths of this world as an absolute. I'm telling you, there might be more beyond it.
There might be, but for the time being, we have to accept the framework that we are working with.
Yeah, accept it because there's the highest probability.
In that framework, or let's say in that simulation, in that environment, whatever you like to call it, in that environment itself, absolute truth exists.
Look, bro, you need to understand the fact. All of your knowledge, all of your perception, everything comes to you through your senses, through your perception. And considering the fact that your perception is finite and not perfect, your ideas come to you through your perception. You don't have mathematical ideas without having any senses. You don't exist without any senses.
No, but probability, you cannot individually or subjectively bend the rules of probability. That's what I'm telling you. So you go to anyone here who understands probability, which you're using to support your case.
There is no one absolute probability, man. Every person sees probability in their own way.
Dude, you go to anyone who understands.
For example, if you bring an agnostic, for him the probability of God existing is much smaller than the probability for a Christian or a Muslim guy of God existing.
Is there anyone on the planet?
It depends on the perspective.
Is there anyone on the planet who actually understands maths to tell us 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, or that the probability of a dice?
That's not what I'm saying. 1 + 1 equals 2 no matter what. But
exactly.
1
so
is an imaginary number. It doesn't apply to this world.
No, it does, because we count
No, it
objects.
doesn't.
It does when it comes to counting objects. We're not talking about how they differ.
Yes, and you approximate those objects to the absolute 1. Okay, look, again, 1, 2, 3, 4 guys here. There's 4 guys here.
Absolutely true.
No,
absolutely.
Because we are not equal.
It doesn't matter. We're not talking
you
about
don't
how
weigh
we
the
differentiate.
same. We're not the same age. We're not the same people.
That doesn't.
Bro, you can't reduce people to numbers.
That doesn't. Of course,
it's an approximation.
When you count human beings.
Approximation.
When you count him, do humans differ from one another?
I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Do we differ from?
Okay, look.
Do I look different?
Okay,
of course
is 1.001 equal to 1?
No.
Of course not. That means if he's heavier than me, he doesn't equal to me.
We are talking about the idea of one individual.
Are you actually listening to what I'm telling you?
You're trying to
if
tell
the mass,
me
if the shape, if the abilities, if the intelligence of different people is different, they can't be counted as exactly the same person.
Okay. So for the idea that if someone asks how many people are in this,
we make an approximation.
No. Don't make me approximation. The idea of counting a human being without respect to how they differ from one another, everyone will tell you 4. Now you're trying to, tell me that this minimal differentiation between us, how we look different.
I'm telling you that we're not the same. And the equation 1 + 1 = 2 doesn't apply exactly to 1 + 1 = 2.
I think we are gone. There is no point.
You are gone, man. You don't understand what I'm telling you.
It's just a waste of time.
I don't know. Probably it is.
Because you will always bend the
I'm
idea
not bending
of what one,
absolutely
yes, of course.
anything.
Yes, of course.
Of course not.
Because when I said there are four of us, you're telling me just because we differ from one another, you cannot apply basic maths on the idea of counting, arithmetic.
You just admitted that 1.001
because that has no
doesn't
relation.
equal to 1.
But Pavlov,
That's all the
mathematically, 1 and 1.05.
Okay, what quantifies a person? What quantifies a person?
The idea of what an individual is as a human being, which you can observe as
Is a fetus a person?
Yes, you could, depending on when
Is a
life
pile of
starts.
sperm with an egg a person?
That's a question of where life begins. I'm talking about a real living human being. Let's talk about, okay, I'll make it clear.
Bro,
An egg,
a female egg here, and a pile of sperm,
so you're jumping
does that
around.
count as a fifth person?
So you've jumped to tell me that it's a question of life. Let me tell you something.
Because you're approximating.
Okay,
You're making an approximation.
Okay. So now you're comparing
You
yourself
can't
to a
admit
fetus.
it.
You're comparing
you
yourself to a
can't
fetus.
admit it. You
Okay,
can't
how
admit
about
it
if
that
I
you are
say,
not correct.
How many human beings more than the age of 1 are standing? What would you say?
You see, now you need to restrict it so that you ignore other creatures.
Because you're bending it so far that I have to restrict
But I
it.
need to bend it because it's all about probability.
You're getting ridiculous about
You're
some
getting
fetus.
ridiculous.